Hello all, welcome to Cloud Technologies, and we are very happy to announce that we are going to provide a free course for MuleSoft for all the freshers and beginners and who want to learn MuleSoft from scratch. This is entirely free course which we are going to release on day by day basis. So it will be a 30 days course, so it is very helpful for you to learn MuleSoft from scratch. And we have explained this course with the real-time project. We have built a real-time project also. In order to explain that, we have created a couple of files and project code as well. So if you want to get those files and projects, please email us with this subject line, request to share level 1 course file. Also, we have an important announcement that we are planning to release a MuleSoft advanced level 2 course very soon. So in this course, we will be discussing most of the topics of MuleSoft, which will help you very well in order to complete level 2 certification as well as to work on complex real-time projects as well. So I hope you will be enjoying that course as well. So if you want to know more details about advanced level course, please contact us via mobile or email. We will be sharing those details. So without further delay, let's get started. Hi. So far you have seen how to create property files and all the stuff, right? So now let's complete a few more steps to complete one API end to end. Remember that we have not completed the implementation yet to pull the data from the database and send it back to the as a response in the required format. That we can see later, because if you understand this stuff end to end, it will be easy for you to follow from next onwards. So that is why we have not done the implementation yet. Let's create an API for this. Let's discuss a few more important topics in this video, so that once you're done with this, you can understand like how you can create an API from requirements stuff to till creating a REST API, right? So once you understand this end to end by creating one API, then we will discuss about API led connectivity, and we will continue with other APIs implementation as well. Fine. So to create an API, you need to go to API Anypoint platform. So we have designed this RAML here, but to create the REST API, we need to go to API manager. Okay. So what is the use of this is like, if you want to provide security for your API, we have a lot of security policies, pre-developed policies available in MuleSoft. I'll show you how to, what are the different policies available. But for now, we will see one policy. Okay. For now, let me, we will see one policy, how to apply a policy, how to test this policy and all one by one. Then the applying remaining policies also same, but each and every policy will have its own purpose that we can discuss later. Okay. So I am just heading up to API manager. As we have created multiple environments, we need to first start with dev environment. Okay. Right. So here no APIs are there as of now. So we have already done the design part of the RAML for the library management system API. So for that system API, now we are going to create a REST API here in API manager. Okay. So to do that, we need to create add API, add new API. We have another two options also, promote API from environment, which is useful to promote this API from lower environments to higher environment. Here higher environment means production, lower environment means dev. In between the stage is also there. So once you're done with this dev API, then if everything is working fine, instead of creating new API in stage and production, we can just promote this dev API to the other environments as well. That for that purpose it is useful. And here import API from GIF file. This also we have seen while importing this RAML, as my old account is expired, right? So this option is useful. Whenever you have any backup of any API with all policies, you can just upload that GIF file. It will be created a new API here, right? So as we have not created any API till now, let's create one API. Remember, you need to do this in dev environment and click on add API, click on add new API. Here you will find three different options. Select runtime. Three different options are there. If you are familiar with old version of this Anypoint platform, you will not see any of these options. You will see only Mule Gateway directly and it will deploy it. But recently MuleSoft has introduced these three different options to make more flexible, because Mule Gateway is specific to Mule applications which are deployed in our CloudHub. Flex Gateway is, see here, is designed to manage and secure APIs running anywhere. For example, if our implementation is not there in our runtime manager, the project or implementation is available in any other server like Apache Tomcat server or Kubernetes, like that. You can, you can manage that application by using this Flex Gateway in CloudHub. We will see more details while we are discussing about the deploying models. If you are already aware of this, just go to our channel, where I have already published a deployment models video long back. Just go through that. You will understand what is the use of different deployment models. What are the different deployment models available in MuleSoft. Okay, so this Flex Gateway is not for us, because now we are deploying our application in our Mule CloudHub itself. So we need to use Mule Gateway. And another one is also there, Service Mesh option. Here it is specific to Kubernetes based non-Mule microservices. Those applications are not Mule applications, like maybe Java applications or any other code applications. If they want to manage those applications in our CloudHub, they can create API for those applications in our CloudHub. But for now, just just remember, you need to select Mule Gateway, because we deployed our application in our in our own Mule CloudHub. So you need to use Mule Gateway, which is specific to Mule applications. Right, so come down. You can, you can leave default as it is connected to the existing application, because we already deployed the, I'll again redeploy it because this is new account. But if you remember, we already deployed that application in our runtime manager. So existing application, you want to apply this API. Right, Mule version is Mule 4. It is the latest version which we are using. Mule 3 is a old version. Now maybe after a few days it will be deprecated. So remember, you need to use Mule 4 only. Now click next. Now here you have to select the RAML. Okay. So see, here the checkbox is select API from Exchange. Here in your account, if you have any specification, it will show here. We have only one specification. Remaining 6 are fragments which are not directly invocable as a REST API. So we have only one specification as of now. That is IBS Library Management API. So this has shown here. You need to select your API. And maybe you can just leave everything as it is, because this is the RAML we have done, and latest version is also already there. The asset version is also latest one, so it will automatically select the latest version only. So just observe this. Here instance label, it is optional. This is optional. Client provider, here it is Anypoint. Means by default it is there, because our application is in MuleSoft only, so it will be by default, it gets selected. Click next. Here upstream URL, here this is the actual URL where we need to mention, like here we need to mention like our implementation URL. If you remember, we deployed our application in our previous video, two videos back or something. We have tested it through Postman with that CloudHub API domain URL, right? That URL you have to give here. Maybe you can just click on next, you can give it later. It is not the mandatory one, this is the optional one. But remember that you need to replace this. Okay, then now click save. If you want to edit, you can edit anything, but if you don't want, you can just click save. So now one REST API is created in API Manager for your IBS Library Management SAPI RAML. Now whenever an API is created in API Manager, one ID will get generated, which is nothing but API instance ID. This ID is getting generated, so you need to note down this ID somewhere. You can take it again, you come back to this, but just for the safe side, just copy somewhere. So API ID dev environment IBS Library Management SAPI. What is the ID? So this is unique to every API, regardless of the free accounts or paid accounts. Any account, if you are going to deploy any, I mean create any REST API, one unique ID will get generated for that API. By using this API ID, we will establish a communication between your API and your implementation. Because your implementation is there in runtime manager, you are going to do the code development in Anypoint studio, right? But your REST API is there in CloudHub. So to apply any policies or to provide any security to your implementation code, your actual implementation code, while you're deploying it into runtime manager, you need to apply all the security policies and all by using this API manager. Here we have policies. By using this, we can apply the policies. But how this API manager will know these policies should be applied to which implementation? Because in real time, we have multiple implementations are there. We may need to implement hundreds of implementation applications, or 20, maybe 20 or 30 implementations are there, maybe, for example, right? So if you apply any policy here, it should know like this is the raml. On top of this raml, on top of this REST API, you need to apply the security by using the policies. But how these policies will be applicable to your implementation, your actual code, how these policies will get implemented? So to establish this communication between this API and your implementation code, we have a feature called auto discovery. Okay, so we need to configure one element just like we did for properties, right? In global elements, to make sure the property file to be which property file to be enabled. Like that, we have created one configuration properties global element, and we have given the file name here dynamically, right? So just like that, we need to configure one component called auto discovery in your implementation code. Because this is my implementation code, right? Here I need to add one element or one configuration called auto discovery. Then I need to give this API instance ID in that auto discovery. Every API will get a unique instance ID, right? As I said earlier. So this ID I need to configure here in my implementation. So by using this ID, when I add this ID into my implementation and I redeploy my application, then this API and your implementation will establish the communication. And see, now this API status is unregistered. It is unregistered yet. It just created, but it is unregistered. So to make this, whenever this API is active state, then only the policies will get applied to your implementation. So whenever you complete that auto discovery setup, whenever you deploy that application into CloudHub with auto discovery ID, then your API status will also become active, so that you can come to conclusion like whenever any policies you applied here in this API, those policies will be internally applied to your implementation to provide security. Right? So remember this process. So as I said, like let me just open this in another window, maybe. Yeah, so as this is the new account I have created, I don't have any applications now, so I'll deploy the application along with this API auto discovery itself instead of doing double time. Okay, so to do that, I need to capture this instance ID, and now we have the property files, right? So now what we have, okay, let me show you that other thing. So we need to add the auto discovery. So to add all the global elements, you need to create those global elements in global.xml only. So come to global.xml file, come to global elements here, click on create. Here search for auto. See, API auto discovery, one component is there. But here see, you need to configure two values, API ID, which is we just copied the instance ID. The instance ID you need to give here, right? The flow name you need to select the main flow. Okay, by default API kit router generates one main flow, right? You can directly select that main flow, because internally the API kit router component will route all the requests to the specific request. So the policies will applicable there. right. But remember one thing, you should not give any values directly like this. You need to put this into a property file and then read it from there, right? That is a thumb rule. So to do that, maybe I can show you here, then I can add there. Okay, so here we can give one another thing, like API is root element and tab id colon, in double quotations you need to give that id. So let me add this line in all the property file, but before that maybe we can uh, invoke this api.id, right? So dollar symbol, flower braces, api.id, a1 a only capital letter. Okay, let's remember this, and let's create this configuration in all of our properties files starting from local. So just adjust the space, API colon, this is the root element, click tab and give id colon space, in double quotation give the, sorry, now it got copied, in double quotation copy the value, right? So just like this, just copy these two lines in all properties file. So whenever you do any change, you need to just start with the local, then dev, then go for stage, then prod. This is the order we need to follow while working with different environments, because any new change, anything, we need to first test it locally, then you need to test it in the lower environment, in the dev environment, then you need to promote or move to other higher environment of stage, then finally you need to move this to prod, right? You need to follow that process. So that is why even properties also I'm just adding it local.yaml first, then dev.yaml, then stage.yaml, then prod.yaml. This values actually you can add in any order, but to remember that process, to remember that steps, I just follow the same process, I mean same flow. Okay, right. So I am saving all the files now. Yeah, so I have added auto discovery also, right? So now what I can do, I can yeah, I did some changes now. So I need to commit this code and then I'll deploy this into CloudHub. So I have these many modified files, so I need to add all the changes. Now git status, right? Now I need to commit this. So git commit -m, in the quotations I am saying like auto discovery changes, right? So now I need to push it to remote repository, git push origin. So whenever you did one change, any working change, it's better to commit the code. Okay, so it is still showing this error mark. Let me just close this and open this project. Yay, yeah, so it's gone. Let me open it. Now everything looks good. Now let me deploy this application into CloudHub. So I'm just following the normal process. Sorry, it got stuck again. Deploy to CloudHub. But once it is deployed, we need to send a couple of properties. We need to configure couple of properties in runtime properties. First thing is the environment value we need to send env equal to dev or local, right? Then apart from that, you need to give a couple of other properties which is related to this auto discovery. I'll show you how you can give that. Okay, so let me just start the deployment. Meanwhile it will get deployed. So we need to select the CloudHub 1.0 old version, then it is already there because I have deployed this in my old account, right? So can give like sep. Okay, so this is the problem, right? Okay, so I have given this name in my old account. It is showing duplicate for me because CloudHub 1.0 is common to everyone, right? So I'm just deploying my application. Let it deploy. Meanwhile, I'll capture those properties for auto discovery in one notepad. Then I'll resume the video. I have it in my another account. So I'll capture it and I'll resume the video. I'll pause it now once it started deployment. Deployment started now. Okay, I'll resume. Sorry, I'll pause the video. I'll capture those values. I'll explain them. Then I'll resume it. Okay. So it is still deploying. I'll show you those four properties. So these are the four properties we need to add: Anypoint platform client ID, client secret, and platform analytics based URI, and platform based URI. So you can copy the same. I mean, you can give the same key, same value, even if this is common for everyone. But you need to capture your client ID, client secret specific to your environment. First, let's gather this information before it deployed. Then we need to apply these properties and we need to redeploy our application, right? So where these values are available, how we can capture it, like you need to go to access management. Now we are deploying this application or this API into dev environment, right? If you remember, we have already created a couple of environments, 3 environments we have created. So you need to go to that particular environment and capture the client ID and client secret. So every environment will have its own client ID and client secret. So in the access management, go to business groups, click on your business group, go to environments tab, you will see your environments here. So now we are deploying this application into dev environment, right? So click on dev. It will show you the client ID and client secret. This is unique to every account. If you have your free account, this client ID secret is different for you. This is my account, so these values are specific to my trial account. Okay, so this step you need to pay attention and copy your own environment client ID and client secret. Don't give the values which I am showing now. So now what you have to do, you need to copy all these properties and you need to add these properties here. Let's click on the application, go to logs. It is still not showing, right? Actually, once your auto discovery variables are is applicable, then your application will show that the API is active or something. But see here, you have some environment, some exception. Could not find the configuration property env. Even we didn't give this value. We have seen how to provide this env value in Anypoint Studio in runtime configuration, but we have not discussed here yet. So go to settings. No problem if it is not deployed, also no problem. You can go to properties tab here. Give env is the key, value is dev. That is the first one. Next one. So by using this, what will happen? It will go to your once your application is deployed, it will go to your properties folder. It will access the dev.yaml file. It will take the values from there. Okay, and then you can come to here. This you can add one by one key value pairs. One by one key value you can give manually, or else I have a trick for you. Maybe they already know. You can just go to text view and copy paste all the values over there. It will create keys. Oh, sorry, I just clicked on deploy application. See, once you go back to the table view, it will automatically show you the values. Okay, so once you given that values, I have accidentally clicked this app apply changes, but you need to click that apply changes to deploy your application again. Okay, so you need to deploy your application. As our application is not deployed for the first time, also it is showing stop state. You need to just click start, then these values will take place, because it throws error for environment variable is not available, right? So that is why one exception is there, but now it should work. Now this time observe, see, and you need to observe one more thing also. I have deployed it 4:30 now. One entry is created, one log message is created. So now I have deployed it again at 16:40. I mean 4:40. Now another log entry is created. The deployment time is also shown here. So by using this, you can see when this application is deployed, at what time. You can just check this. It is showing today, right? If you visit this tomorrow, it will show you the exact date. So by using this also, you can get the information like on which date, at what time this application is deployed, or by whom it is deployed. Okay, so now let's be in the logs page only for now. I want to show you something, because earlier this API manager, let me go back to API manager. That API status is shown like unregistered, right? So once you apply this auto discovery, and once you add those four properties into runtime properties, this is what I said. Runtime properties means this properties. These properties are called runtime properties. You can give any runtime properties here. If you give any value here, this value will override in the studio properties. Okay, so what I am trying to say, like, yeah. So I'll just open another window. It is still unregistered, this API, right? So let's observe these logs. I will show you one thing. Once this is the changes are applied, it will show you your API is unblocked, and the instance ID also shown here in the logs. Let's wait for that message. So if you see that message, you can blindly understand, like, yeah, auto discovery change is applied successfully, and your API will become active soon in some minutes. What is this? Again, your application is failed. Cannot find the resource. Properties dev.yaml. Okay. Okay, I think I did some mistake while configuring this properties. Here we have configured like properties slash env.yaml. Why it is throwing error? Let me just one second. Let me check it once. Copy qualified name. Okay, paste it somewhere. It is showing properties slash dev.yaml. Okay, I have given slash in wrong way, I guess. Yeah, maybe just let's correct this. I have given backward slash, but here it is forward slash. Okay, So we need to redeploy again. Okay, yeah, let me redeploy it. Sorry, yeah, is that window opened? Okay, let's see now what will happen. Okay, it may take some time. Just I'll pause the video. Once it is deployed, I'll resume it because it will take at least 5 to 10 minutes now. I don't want to waste this time. Okay, I'll pause it. I'll show you once it is deployed. It is still deploying. And if you can see in the logs, it should start another entry once it start deployed. Yeah, third one entry also started 1647. Okay, I'll resume it. Okay, I'll pause the video. I'll resume it later. So now it is deployed. Okay, it turns to green. I didn't change anything after that property file change. Okay, but you can observe something. See now the API key. This is the instance ID. This is showing now unblocked and available. You should see this message to make you to understand your auto discovery is applied successfully or not. And once you come here, you can refresh this API manager. That API status should turn to active instead of unregistered. Yeah, now it is active and green symbol is there, right? So now it's good to apply any policy in your implementation on top of your implementation through your API here. Okay, so before that, as this URL is changed, let me just frame the URL without the what is that, without client ID policies and all. So I'm just going to Postman. So as of now, you have not, we have not yet applied any policies. No policies are there. But in RAMLs, we mentioned like client ID, client secret is the mandatory headers. It will ask you for any some dummy values of client ID, client secret. But once you apply that client ID policy, it will validate those values as well. I'll show you that. So first let's understand the client ID secret policy in this video. Once we discussed more about the security, then we will see the other policies as well. Right, so yeah, this is the URL. Earlier it is available, right? Or maybe just I can change this. And I have given client ID secret on in some garbage values, right? So it should it is giving 200. Okay, list libraries flow because we have just added this data view as of now, right? But if you this client ID client secrets are not getting validated. Okay, let's apply. You can give any values here because we don't have any policy. We didn't apply any policy yet. Let's apply a policy. Let's see. Okay, so to do that, you need to just open that API manager and click on that API, your API, and go to policies. And here click on add policy. Okay, now search for client ID. Client ID enforcement policy is there. This is a compliance policy. Whenever you apply a policy, it will expect the client ID, client secret in the header part of your API to test it, to authenticate it. Okay, so click on next. So client underscore ID, client underscore secret. These two are the keys to be represented in your headers, which we have already added in our RAML also. So we no need to add any RAML changes now. right? So what you have to do, once you select that, you can just click on apply. No need to change anything, but for your understanding purpose, see here in the advanced options, two options will be there: apply configuration to all API method and resources, apply configuration to specific API method and resources. This might be one of your interview question. So if you apply any policy, how the default behavior. So default behavior is it will apply that particular policy to all API methods and resources. It means we have four API, four methods and three resources, right? So it will apply for all the three methods and all the four resources, all the four, three resources and four methods. But if you want to specifically apply this policy to, sometimes requirements is like only post request should be restricted, get request will be available for everyone without these policies and all. Like that, you might have some requirements. In that case, what you can do, you can select this apply configuration to specific API method and resources. You can just select that exact method and maybe exact resource, right? So in that case, you can control this policy is to be applied to only specific method and resources. But for now, we can select the default one, which is like it will apply for all methods and resources. You need to click apply. So once you click on apply, this policy is applied to your REST API. Okay, and now maybe let's click the same. It will take some time to apply the configuration because you have not given the valid client ID secrets. No, it should validate it. It should do something. Okay, but before that, maybe I can show you how you can get the actual client ID secret, because it will take some time to sync up. Let's wait 1 or 2 minutes, then test it. What I'm trying to see here is it should tell you like some error. You will not get you should not get 200 OK success response. You will get like invalid client or invalid client secret, like that. You need to get those errors because now we applied the policy, but we have given some dummy values for this client ID and client secret. Right, maybe 1 or 2 minutes. Let's wait and test it again. And one more thing, like from where we can get this actual client ID client secret values. That is also we need to understand and we need to get it. Let me try now. See, now it is showing unauthorized. It means now the policy is applied successfully to your implementation. I didn't change anything. Unauthorized, and it is showing invalid client. Earlier it is working with even dummy values also, because we didn't apply the policy, but we have just added these headers in RAML. But now it shows invalid client. So until unless you have given the actual original client ID and client secret instead of dummy values, until unless you have given that, it won't work. It won't give you success response. It won't give you access to talk to your implementation and get the success response. So from where we will get this client ID and client secret. So to do that, what you have to do, you can just go to Exchange, where your API specification is published. Go to Exchange and go to your specification, not the fragment, the main API specification. Here you will find one option called request access, right? So here it's okay. Here you need to select your instance ID, because our API is now available in dev only. We have created in demo. We have not yet promoted it to stage or prod. It is available in only dev. So it is showing only dev instance. If in case if your API is, the same API is available in all the environments, it will show all the environment instances as well. You need to select accordingly as per your requirement. So as of now, I need to get access to this dev API. So I need to select the dev and select application. Here you can just create one application name. This application is called client application. Client means who will consume that API. So now we are going to create one client application. So you can give any meaningful name. Library management dev. Maybe I just give this, and you don't need to fill anything, just click on create. Sometimes you will have SLA tires also. For free account it is not available. For your licensed accounts, your organization account, it will be available, the SLA tires also. You can select that option as well. Okay, now you need to click on request access. See, now it is showing client ID and client secret for you. The actual values, these are the actual client ID, client secret for you to test this application. So you can copy somewhere, or you can just directly paste it here instead of these values. Just remove this value, paste that client ID, and you need to have this somewhere, because this page will not be accessible again. To access this client ID secret, again you need to follow another process. But to avoid that, what you can do, like you can just copy these values somewhere in the notepad. That is actually useful for you, right? So dev API, which API? IBS library management, client enforcement policy. Now that this is the client secret, and the first one is the client ID. I have just saved it somewhere in the notepad. Okay, so now go to your exchange. Now so now we have received the actual client ID, client secret, and I have given the actual client ID secret here. Now click on send. This time you need to get 200 success response, right? Because you have given the actual client ID, client secret. Okay, so this is how you need to apply any policy to a API on top of your REST, RAML. And to link this API to your implementation, you need to configure that auto discovery. This entire process we should follow for each and every API, regardless of system API, process API, or experience API. You need to follow all these steps as it is for all the APIs which you are going to implement, right? So that is why I have shown you the entire process from end to end for one API, one single API. Now you will understand like what steps we need to follow for all the APIs, right? So let me just go back here. I just noted down some points to cover in this video. Yeah, so we have yeah, we have covered everything, right? So in this topic, maybe we can stop this video for now to avoid confusion. So we have seen auto discovery, we have seen how to create REST API, and we have seen how to apply any policies. So we have applied only one policy as of now, but going forward we will see other policies as well once we're done with the implementation of this. Right, so thank you. Let's meet in another video. Thank you. Please do practice, okay?